These animals are vulnerable, endangered, or outright dead. And this totally isn't a school project that we were forced to. So anyway, we will now show you why animals become extinct. This shows why Darwin's theory of evolution holds true. Nonetheless, there are many species worldwide that are heading towards extinction, and sadly, often because of humans. First are the ones that are extinct. Number 1, the thylacine. The thylacine was a dog-like creature who had stripes on its back like a tiger. Its habitat was coastal scrublands on the island of Tasmania. They ate small rodents and birds. The thylacine was hunted to extinction by pelt poachers. The animal became extinct in 1936, and here is a surviving footage of the specimen. Next, the saber-toothed tiger. The saber-toothed tiger lived in the Ice Age. They lived in grasslands, scrubby areas, and pine forests. They hunted deer, buffalo, antelopes, camels, ground sloths, I wonder why they went extinct, bison, and tapirs. They were hunted into extinction once again by humans, but this time it was by our early ancestors. Endangered. These guys are going to become extinct if they don't get their act together. The Javan rhinos live in jungles and eat shoots, fallen fruit, and twigs. They were hunted to only 58 to 68 rhinos by trophy hunters in colonial times. The Amur leopard lived in temperate, broadleaf forests along the Russian-Chinese border in the Far East, and may also live in North Korea. The Amur leopard has found only 84 adults and 19 cubs. They eat roe deer, sika deer, and musk deer. They have no natural predators. Although they are currently protected, they are continually poached by villagers for food and money. On to the threatened species. These guys are pretty vulnerable, and their numbers are weak. Luckily, conservation efforts are in place. Komodo dragons. They are from Komodo, but it's pretty controversial to actually call them dragons. Well, they're also from Rinca, Jumatang, and Gili Dasami in southern Indonesia. Right now, they are numbered at about 6,000. They eat any kind of meat, they're savage scoundrels. No real predators on their island, though. International wildlife smuggling and poaching reduce their numbers. Giant pandas live in mountainous areas in the People's Republic of China. 1,864 giant pandas left in the wild. Conservation efforts have taken place recently to save them. Anyway, giant pandas eat various bamboo species, as you've probably heard. Despite conservation efforts, snow leopards, jackals, and yellow-throated martens are capable of eating panda cubs. And to top it all off, harvesting of plants important to giant pandas, hunting, and tourism are the reasons why there are such low numbers today. Invasive species. Invasive species can be detrimental to the biodiversity in a given area, or they can be very helpful and can solve problems caused by other invasive species. I'm looking at you, Hawaii. Cane toads, which originally inhabited coastal areas, invaded Australia in order to kill some beetles ravaging sugar canes. They eat anything they can swallow and take up a lot of resources. So that's nice. At least they're not the first animal that beat Australia, besides people, of course. Moving on. The Mexican fruit fly, native to Mexico and Central America, was introduced to the United States, first discovered outside of its usual range in 1954. It was possibly introduced by movement of infested fruit, and now its larvae attack over 60 kinds of fruits, which is not so good for farmers or anyone who wants to take fruit in public. Habitat loss. Habitat loss is a fundamental cause of the reduction of biodiversity. A good example of a place affected by habitat removal could be the Amazon rainforest. River dredging can kill fish and wildlife residing in the waters. It can also kill humans, too, due to contaminants in the water. You can blame Obama or Bush for that. I don't really care. Then there's deforestation, like what happened to the Amazon rainforest. Not only does it reduce habitat space, but it also creates waste. Many animals can die as a result of this practice due to a loss of resources they need to survive or their home. Like, imagine if your mom, or better yet, some guy you don't even know, rings your doorbell, orders you outside of the house, brings a bulldozer and a wrecking ball, and obliterates it to the point where all you see is ashes. Oh, and he didn't ask you if you wanted to get your belongings or your family. He just kicked you on the streets and started whacking your house down like he's playing Fortnite. You now have a good idea on what deforestation is like for them, you sick monsters. You know what habitat removal causes? That's right, pollution. Well, this seems obvious for reducing biodiversity, but we have to include it in case you need a refresher from 3rd grade. Littering is something we see just about every day, unless you decide to spend your life indoors. Because of our littering, which can land you a fine by the way, can cause other animals to eat our trash and then die an unholy death, which is kind of sad if you ask me. Plus, there's air pollution, the one you're most likely familiar with the most. Air pollution. It can harm the lungs of humans and other animals due to nitrogen compounds and sulfur emissions. It can also damage the ozone layer due to chlorofluorocarbons in our atmosphere. When accompanying water, these emissions are present in acid rain, which can be detrimental to both flora and fauna. That's fun. Yay. You know what pollution causes? That's right, effects of climate change. Polar bears, those adorable little guys that will claw just about anything to death. Nice, right? Not until climate change comes in. Melting ice caps due to climate change cause them to lose much of their habitat. Kinda sad. Increased temperatures cause more hurricanes and in effect reduce biodiversity because it can make a place look like what Florida will pretty soon if we don't get our act together. Well, that's all we've got. Like, subscribe, whatever, I don't care. This channel's probably just going to be used for this video or any other school projects that we may have to do concerning videos. So, bye.